Where were we up to last time? We got the target to move. We've renamed the food, and we've gone through all the different costumes that you can add, and we changed the background. Okay. We used a variable to create a timer, and I thought when the time runs out, what we want is we want the game to stop, and like maybe a game over message to come up. We could do that with audio, or we can do it changing the background. I'll do the background first because I think it's easier. So that is on the stage in the backdrop. I'm going to put the code onto there. You can see with our variable that we used previously, the timer, I've left it at 5 seconds because I want to use trial and error to check to see if it works. When I'm happy, then we can put it to a minute or 30 seconds or whatever. So set the timer to 5. Repeat 5 times, change the timer by -1, and because it did it so fast, what we need to do is put in a wait 1 second in there. So if I put a chunk of code here that tells it to basically to say game over or something like that, because it's run through this loop, it moves on to the next row of code. So that's what we're going to do. Now I thought an easy way of doing it would be to have going into backdrops there, would be to have another backdrop. Okay, so I'm in backdrops, and here we go. All right, so I'm going to, like we did previously with the backdrop for the game, choose a backdrop. And I'm going to choose a plain backdrop, that neon tunnel one. You can have whatever you want. And I'm going to put some text in there, and I'm just going to type game over. And then I'll make it bigger because that's a bit too small. There we go. Have a play around using trial and error. I quite like that. Simple, job done. So the game will be with the party background, and then game over will come and kick in there. So going back from the backdrop to the code. Okay, so if I put a piece of code in here, what will happen is once the 5 seconds or 30 seconds have gone, it'll click onto that code. So it's about how it looks. So I'm gonna, here we go, switch to backdrop. Oh, and wait. Oh, that might work actually. That might be better. I'll have a play about with it later. But I'm going to switch to backdrop, and it's already chosen neon tunnel for me. Okay, which is good. Oh, in fact, why don't I change the name of neon tunnel to game over? You don't have to do this, but it just might make it easier. But what we've got to be careful is it's no longer called. It's changed it for me. Isn't it clever? It's changed it to game over. Right, so let's see if that works. Trial and error. Does it work? 3. Well, it works, but I've got that backdrop on, so I need to stop it. Change the backdrop there to party backdrop. Okay, and then run the code again. So they're playing the game. Imagine there are lots of cakes, shooting them, and that part of the code works. I think another idea would be, did you notice that the sprite was continuing to move? So what do you think we could do then to improve the game? Yeah, we could tell it to stop moving, because that's what happens when a game finishes, doesn't it? And there's a chunk of code there in the controls that says stop all. Click it in. Now let's see if it continues to move when it gets to 0. Oh. Brilliant, it stopped everything. But the pain with this is, you notice that it's not putting the backdrop back to the party backdrop. So we need to tell it to do that. So I'm looking for one of these, the Lux ones, the purpley looking ones. And I'll just put switch to backdrop at the start, so that when the game starts it'll automatically do that, but not game over. What do we need to put? Yes, party. Alright, now let's see if that works. Then it's moving around, they're shooting. Game over, and everything stopped. Success. Okay, so I'm going to leave that video at that. That's a little extra for this week's, if you get everything else finished. Hope it's useful.